when there was a famine in Ethiopia, and it was a terrible drought, terrible famine, and many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people died, and millions were affected, countless millions, and children and were going hungry, and well, a famine, a proper famine. And at that time, something happened where it began with Bob Geldof in the United Kingdom. He decided that he was going to do something about it because for the 1980s, for that decade, was defined by Reaganomics and Thatcherism. And you may know that neither of those individuals are remembered for their tremendous compassion. They were not known for their giving spirit. They were both staunch conservatives and staunch supporters of so-called free market capitalism, or at least they were publicly anyway. So this was a tremendous thorn in the side of liberal-minded individuals, and Bob Geldof was one of them. And he decided that he was going to rally the collective voice of artists. He was going to inspire and unite artists, and he was going to do so by showing them, educating them about the famine in Africa. And he wrote a song, and he got all of the artists in the UK, or at least the prominent ones, the popular ones at the time, to come together to record the song and make a video. And the video was called "Do They Know It's Christmas?" And all the proceeds from the sale of that single would go to Africa to ease the suffering of the individuals because of the famine. And of course, naturally, you realize that Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Quincy Jones, and Michael Jackson are all African Americans. And when they heard "Do They Know It's Christmas?" and they realized what the hell was going on, they said to themselves, a bunch of white folk in England have recorded a single to help the African famine, and we haven't done anything. And we're African Americans, and we haven't done anything. So immediately they set themselves to task. And they immediately, and in very short order, they pulled together all of the artists. They wrote the song, they wrote the lyrics, and they pulled everybody together. Quincy Jones, of course, produced the single, and "We Are the World," USA for Africa, was the result. If you go on Netflix and search "We Are the World" a documentary, you're going to find it. And it's one of those songs. Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Quincy Jones, and Michael Jackson, and all of them contributed musically and lyrically to that song. You cannot bring together that kind of talent and not produce something very special. And then when you bring the other talent, the performing talent, to sing, put that together, the result is something that is truly magical. And it was magical, and it was powerful, and it raised a lot of money and everything else. But how and why? Because the suffering of those people in Africa, those Ethiopians, that their suffering inspired and united. And it didn't end there. The singles were fine, they were great, and they got lots of play on the radio, and they sold lots of albums, and they raised a lot of money. But that was only the beginning, because Bob Geldof decided, we're going to take this a step further. We're going to do something that has never been done before and has never been replicated since. He says, we are going to put on a concert that is going to be simulcast to the four corners of the globe on live television, and we're going to play it in stadiums all over the world, live and on television. That concert was called LiveAid, and again, it was to raise money for the orphan children and all those suffering from the famines and all the suffering in Africa. And to this day, you can watch LiveAid and clips from LiveAid on YouTube. Now, we get emotional about this, not least because we grew up with this. This was the time, the era that I grew up, and the tremendous hope that all of this inspired in all of us in my generation. Everyone who got to see this live as a teenager. Maybe the world is not all that shitty. Maybe the world is not just greed and materialism and selfishness. Queen is, or certainly was, one of my favorite bands. So if you've seen the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, if you've seen any of the documentaries, you know that much of Queen's music, because of all the band members, shared the same characteristic. They were all outliers. They were all outsiders. Queen's music is a music for independent spirits, people who don't quite fit in anywhere. And they were a band which got me through many a difficult time in my youth, and especially during my high school years and university years. And Freddie Mercury and Queen opened LiveAid. They were the first band to play. And if you have seen that footage, if you've seen that performance, that is considered by many to be the greatest concert set of all time, certainly in pop music. And even Bob Geldof, he credited Freddie Mercury and Queen for electrifying and kickstarting the whole Live Aid concert because of that performance, because of the way that Freddie Mercury could work a crowd and inspire a crowd and get the crowd participated in the performance and feel like they really are part of the goings on. And again, we can reiterate, it's something that has never been replicated. Sure, there have been World Cups and many Olympics and all kinds of other stuff, but for some reason, there's never been a repeat of Live Aid. Maybe because Bob Geldof is too old, or nobody's taken up the mantle, or because this humanity is degenerating, is devolving. And that this humanity might have peaked sometime in the 80s when bands like U2 were singing about love, and their song One was an anthem for young people around the world to have hope that perhaps we might one day realize a world where we are all one. But that world never materialized, of course, and it will never materialize. And any type of unity that they try to impose on us is not going to be the unity that we all longed for in our hearts, and that the new age still delusionally believes is just waiting around the corner, that some mass global awakening is just waiting to suddenly, spontaneously overtake this humanity and achieve 5D ascension and all that new age propaganda nonsense. But nonetheless, the fact remains that everything that we just described, all those musicians lending their talents and their time and their energy, and then inspiring the world, again, likewise, that inspiration and unification was all born out of the terrible suffering of people in Ethiopia at the time, suffering of people in Africa at the time.